My name is Maurice Robinette. I'm a third-generation cattle rancher from Spokane County. And I have a question for the group here. Who can tell me what the #1 export of the state of Washington is by value and volume? Just shout it out if you know what it is. What was it? Boeing? Somebody said Boeing. What I hear in the back there? Soil. That's it. Soil is the #1 export by volume and value. Although water probably is pretty important too. But unlike peak oil that we are near or at, we passed peak soil about 100 years ago. That's according to David Montgomery, author of this book, Dirt, The Erosion of Civilization. Highly recommend this. It's been a major influence on my life in the last year. He goes through extensive detail on 15 or 20 different civilizations and how their attitudes towards soil affected their sustainability or not, and in most cases not. The good news is we have the know-how to reverse this, and that's what I'm going to talk about today is one of those techniques called mob grazing. Mob grazing is a newly rediscovered process that mimics a natural process called the predator-prey relationship. And that consists of large animals being pursued by predators. And this happens all over the world wherever there are large grasslands. Well, it happens in all sorts of situations, but we're specifically interested in the impact on grasslands and large animals. And so what the process is as predators pursue prey, the prey is bunched into a tight group and moves and moves away. Doesn't come back for a long time. And we see this over and over and over, and all over the world where there's a large grassland, and is probably the grass has evolved in relationship to this phenomenon over millions of years, even prehistoric dinosaur times. Grass was growing in relationship to dinosaurs, and still continues today. However, we have changed the process a little bit with fences. So the definition, the ballpark definition, is 500,000 pounds of livestock per acre. That's 500 1,000-pound steers on 1 acre of land. Or at the other end of the continuum, one 1,200-pound cow on a piece of ground 10 feet by 10 feet. What we try to accomplish, and this is a picture of it here, is to put all of the grass in contact with the soil. This allows the microbes to go to work, start to decompose the organic matter, and accelerate the mineral cycle, allowing increased soil fertility and ultimately grow more grass. Rule of thumb is removal of about 1/4 to 1/3 of the organic matter that's available. And this is what it looks like after the fact. I put this system into effect this summer it was about the middle of July, towards the end of July. It's primarily orchard grass there. And I did it on about a 15-acre piece of ground and used the portable electric fence to accommodate the densities. I ran about 100 head of mixed ages of animals on roughly 1/3 of an acre. So I estimate I got somewhere around the 200 to 250,000 pound per acre level. And this is how I set my field up. The blue is my water supply. The area with the little bitty strips down at the bottom here are where I ran the ultra-high densities. All of these lines are hot wires. And what I would do is open open this. There's a gate. That's a gate right there. I would open that one, and then I would come in, and the first day I would graze this piece. So I set up 2 reels, one here and one here, and I would unroll this reel all the way up here, stop there, and then this one started here. So that provided a gate here. There's one line missing. I also had a line right here on the first day. So and then I would open this one up. This one was closed. Swing. You could just swing it. First day I did just swing this. Oops. Swing this around, and they come in here. So they come and they graze here, and then they trail back and they get water, and they come back and they go back and get water. And then about 3 hours later, I would, or 4 hours, I'd move into this one. So then I would unreel this reel here up to this point, and this reel that started down here, I would reel it up to this point, and that allows them access into this piece. Everybody get the idea there? Yeah, it's pretty simple. It's not rocket science. And so then I can, after about I'd either do that 2 or 3 times a day, depending on how much time I had to commit to it. At the end of the day, I'd run everybody out of here and let them spend the night in this piece up here. And then I'd come back in the morning and I'd pick up where I left off. And then on the last day, I'd open it up here and let them work on that piece. So that's what the grass looked like when it was all said and done, and produced that effect on roughly 15 acres. So unfortunately, this isn't a year from now, so I can't tell you what the results are. But the reason I'm doing this is because the results are reported to be excellent, and coming from lots and lots of different places. And probably the best research that's done on this right now is in Australia, a lady named Christine Jones. And I heard her speak about it last year at the Covera Coalition meeting down in Albuquerque. And she's done a tremendous amount of work. The whole point here is you're putting a lot of organic matter in contact with the soil. That's really what it is. And there's lots of different ways to do that, and probably one of the ways organic producers are most familiar with it would be the use of a roller crimper, basically doing the same thing. But there are some significant differences. Oh, by the way, if you want to learn more about this, there's some really good videos on YouTube. Just YouTube mob grazing, and there's some excellent stuff in there. Bob told us this morning that there's no fertilizer trucks in nature. Well, there's also no fuel trucks, and this requires no fossil fuel to do this. We got cultivation from the hoof action. We got fertilization from the manure. There's very little labor on a per acre basis involved. It took me roughly, on that 15-acre piece, it took me roughly an hour to set that up. And the actual time of moving the animals from one place to the next was maybe 10 or 15 minutes. It takes me longer to get to the field than it does to do the actual labor. There's also very little capital outlay here. There's no tractor involved. There's no roller crimper involved. It's just a little bit of shoe leather, some portable hot wire, $100 charger, and a few curlicue temporary posts. So that the capital output is minimal. And then the best part, I'm actually making money. I'm making pounds of beef, and when I can convert that into dollars. So it's a net gain, as well as the whole point here is to enhance soil fertility and increase production next year. But in the meantime, I'm actually making money doing this as opposed to burning diesel. So where do we go from here? I think this has fantastic potential for the organic community, because you can if this was refined and developed to the point, and I believe it could be, that you could replace all of the cultivation tools that are currently being used in organic production and substitute it with livestock. So the next thing to happen is a lot of research done on how to do this. This is one little experiment, you know, and I'm not even sure how it's going to play out, which is the point of an experiment, of course. But I think it has great potential. But the next thing is we need to figure out how to no-till drill into this and get a crop out of it, because then you would really have something. You would cut out all the fuel costs of cultivation. So that's about it. Questions or comments?